Welcome back to the Slide Job Podcast. I'm your host, Colton Smith, or Left Turn Central. I'm here joined by producer Josh Northcutt and co-host Ben Miller. We have quite a lot to get to. NASCAR has made a counterclaim to the lawsuit set on them by 23XI in Front Row. We have some penalties, one taken away, one deducted to talk about throughout the week. Ben's got to give his power rankings, and me and Josh remind you of ours. We also have to preview Phoenix and do our Fast Five. So a lot to get to. Let's go ahead and get right to it, starting with the penalties. Chase Briscoe was awarded a penalty back in Daytona of a negative 100 points, along with losing his crew chief for 4 races. They appealed that penalty. The process took a couple weeks, but Briscoe ends up coming out okay, getting all his points back. He currently finds himself 15th in points, just behind Kyle Larson, if I'm not mistaken. Fellas, what do we think? Do you think, I mean, you don't necessarily comment on whether you think what they did was right or not, but how do you think this changes the game for Chase Briscoe, starting with Ben?
Yeah, I feel like this is a step in the right direction for Chase Briscoe and that 19 team. To be honest, though, I'm just glad that NASCAR gave them permission to submit their appeal. And overall, though, I feel like now that they got that monkey off their back, they're going to do some great things moving forward. And I feel like as of right now, this is a fresh start for Chase Briscoe.
Josh?
Yeah, I think Ben just summed it up perfectly. It's a fresh start. It puts him back in the hunt of the playoffs. We were talking, I believe it was before Monday's show, Colton, about how basically he was dead. He was going to need multiple wins or at least a win to get in. But now he can still potentially get in points. They can plan ahead and find the tracks that they are meant to be good at, kind of feel. And case in point, such as Coda, they can race for those stage points. They don't have to race for the win in certain situations. So it's very, very good for Chase, and I'm glad to see it happen because obviously I would say I'm a Chase Briscoe fan, and I want to see him succeed.
Yeah, you and me both, and he's definitely in the right place in the 19. I'm glad he gets a better chance to do so now without that penalty. Moving to a penalty that was taken and will not be refuted. Austin Cindric got 50 points docked. I think some playoff points potentially as well. Taken away for right hooking Ty Dillon on the front straightaway at Coda. A lot of controversy. All the Cindric fans, there are some interesting Cindric fans on Twitter I ran into, basically saying that the world hates him and that is that. And that's not the case. Your driver right hook somebody on a straightaway. That's a pretty consistent rule that has been upheld. Kyle Busch came out against it, really. The guy who right hooked Ron Hornaday Jr. in the Truck Series very, very viciously back in 2010. Of course, he's going to defend him. But there's also some outcry that, hey, he should have gotten more. He should have gotten suspended like Chase, like Bubba, to which I say, not really the same thing. I do think there is a difference in safety in doing it on at a road course and a track, but there is a point to be made. It's still the same act. You're still right hooking somebody. So I see both sides of the coin, but I do think he deserved to be penalized, and I'm fine with negative 50. But Josh, what do you think?
I agree. The points were well deserved on the dock. I just find it funny that the Dillon was the one who got hooked this time instead of hooking somebody for a victory.
Oh wait, so you admit it?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Anyways, it's kind of like how you said, with it being a road course. I get where people are like, we want to see consistency in a penalty because we do yell about NASCAR with consistency, but hooking someone at a road course and hooking someone at Bristol or Daytona, two totally different things.
Yeah, for sure. I'm glad that NASCAR put their foot to the floor and penalized Austin Cindric for this incident at Coda. I feel like it was fair not to suspend him because they're on the straightaway of a road course, and it's not like how it was with Chase Elliott and Denny Hamlin at Charlotte. It wasn't like how it was Bubba Wallace and Kyle Larson at Las Vegas, though. So I feel like this is a fair thing that they did.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely some precedent there. Gregson in the Xfinity Series, and I think Gregson again, or host of our, they're kind of the same person in the Cup Series last season as well. So that brings us to the big news of the week. That is NASCAR filing a countersuit on Wednesday in U.S. District Court against 23XI Racing and Front Row. They are currently suing NASCAR. That's what a countersuit means. I'm telling that to myself. Don't worry, not you guys. Basically citing that the parties embarked on a strategy to threaten, coerce, and extort NASCAR into meeting their demands for better contract and financial terms. And the NASCAR attorney said Wednesday morning as well that they are essentially threatening the future of the charter system, which is interesting to me. I have a couple of quotes I have compiled here through NBC Sports. I'm going to list those off because I think it's going to be some boring legal jargon, but I do think it's important to kind of see what some of those claims are, and I want to hear what you guys have to say on it if you got anything. So starting with beginning no later than June, and this is just written in their counterclaim. No later than June 2022, counterclaim defendants engaged in a conspiracy and agreement in unreasonable restraint of interstate trade and commerce, constituting a violation of the Sherman Act. Curtis Polk, that is a co-owner of 23XI Racing, knowingly and actively orchestrated and participated in this illegal conspiracy while working as a member of the negotiating committee on behalf of the RTA and aiding 23XI and Front Row's participation in the scheme, also constituting a violation of the Sherman Act. Now, that's the main, that's kind of the big villain they're trying to point out. NASCAR is that of Curtis Polk. They say the conspiracy and agreement consist of an agreement to engage in concerted action among counterclaim defendants and others to limit competition, increase payments, and otherwise demand their preferred terms for charter teams by agreeing on the terms they would offer and agree to collectively negotiating the 2025 charter agreements. It's a lot of fluff. But it's not the first time, apparently. This is still a counterclaim. 23XI and FRM have sought to improve their viewpoints and those of their counsel on the racing teams writ large, whatever that's a really weird worded thing, but law. And it's truly ironic that in trying to blow up the charter system, they have sought to weaponize the antitrust laws to achieve their goals. That is because of the undisputed reality is that 23XI and Front Row Motorsports, led by their owner and sports agent, Curtis Polk, who willfully violated antitrust laws by orchestrating anti-competitive shit. So a lot of stuff. There's more I could even go on. There's 30 pages of it, but that's kind of the main thing. Is
I want you to read all 30 pages.
Yeah, okay, Josh. The lot of stuff though, and Polk is kind of the main villain, but they are speaking at 23XI and that of Front Row Motorsports, Front Row as a whole. What do you have any comments on that? There's still a lot more that I didn't get to, but I didn't realize how wordy this article put it. So I don't want to completely bore the fans with all the legal jargon.
Go ahead, Ben.
To be honest, I really don't have a whole lot, to be honest.
All right, yeah. I just think it's funny that they're basically trying to blame one guy, two teams who are clearly trying to make the sport better. And as you mentioned, kill a monopoly that is known as NASCAR. I wouldn't say I've ever been a fan of Denny Hamlin, but a lot of times when I listen to him, it does seem like he has the right mindset to try to grow the sport and make it better. Because correct me if I'm wrong, he was the guy who came up with the idea of kind of doing a March Madness type thing for NASCAR.
It was.
Yep.
We have it.
He's obviously got the podcast, which gets viewers and attendance and all eyes on that. Maybe NASCAR fans, maybe not. Maybe some people became NASCAR fans because they listened to a Denny Hamlin podcast. I just feel like this is a witch hunt because NASCAR knows that they're basically in the wrong and they're not getting their way they want. So they're doing a 2-year-old thing and just throwing a little hissy fit.
Yeah, and some words from less legal jargon words from Jeffrey Kessler, 23XI and Front Row's attorney, said today's counterclaim by NASCAR is a meritless distraction and a desperate attempt to shift attention away from its own unlawful and monopolistic actions, just as you said, Josh. They agreed to joint negotiations that they now attack. When those joint negotiations failed, they used individual negotiations to impose their charter terms, which most of the teams decided they had no choice but to accept. NASCAR did rebuttal this. I don't know if it's this statement specifically, but they said somewhere that they gave the teams a week, not a day, not 12 hours like Denny Hamlin originally said. But what they don't point out is that that doesn't give room. You give 100-page document in the middle of a season to a team and you expect them to just be okay with that, and you don't give them any room for negotiation. And so regardless, like, okay, you didn't give them 12 hours like Denny maybe said, and we don't even know if that's 100% true either. But you gave them a week. Perhaps they renegotiated and then they gave him the 12 hours after the renegotiation. That's what I think really happened. And it's not even RCR. Richard Childress said after the fact that, yeah, they gave us very limited time and I had to make a decision for my employees to make sure that they keep jobs. I got 300 or so employees. So, yeah, it's interesting. And additionally, Kessler said the lawsuit has always been about transforming NASCAR into a more competitive and fair sport for the benefits of drivers, fans, sponsors, and teams because of their love of the sport. And yeah, that's I believe that. I think that that's what it is. And NASCAR is just very clearly trying to do some damage control. And knowing NASCAR's history, it'll probably be right. Probably work.
Question for you, Colton. How do you think this all turns out? Because I feel like this is almost a lose-lose situation. Somehow, some way, either NASCAR later, if 2311 and Front Row win this whole battle in court, NASCAR finds another way to punish them. You know what I mean? Or if 23 and 11 and Front Row are wrong in the matter and not sided with in court, then does NASCAR kind of have the power to kick
Oh
them
yeah,
out?
if they lose in court, they're done. Like
Yep.
23XI and Front Row Motorsports have to either go charterless or I guess it wouldn't be done, but they would have to go charterless. I don't think they
Which
would have
means
the
you would
rights
have to
charter.
qualify every week, correct? That's the
Correct.
proper.
Which
Okay.
I don't think 2311 would have very many issues, but there's that one race that maybe you reckon qualifying or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, but one thing I will say to that is 20 years ago, would you have foreseen that college players would be getting paid seven figures? Probably not. And this is the same lawyer that made that happen. So I do have faith in his ability to hopefully get this worked out. And God, it'd be so nice to see the France family gone. I don't think that would happen, but it would be so nice because, like, when I originally saw Jim France's statements, I was like, why don't you should go talk to your buddy Brian, your brother, sorry, Brian. Oh, wait, he got a DUI. Anyways, let's move along to the ratings, a much more positive topic, because they went up for Coda. Now, it's not necessarily up on the third race last year, but it is up upon, and I somehow managed to lose it. Where's there? It is 4.132 million viewers at the 2.15 rating. That is up from 3.3 million last year for Coda. That race took place in late March, so a couple notches down the schedule, but it was still the most watched sport of the weekend, slightly down from Las Vegas, which was the third points race last year. So good and bad news mixed in there. And I kind of want to add in here, Fox got 1.4 million views for Sunday's NTT IndyCar Series season opener at St. Pete. That is up 45% from last year's 90 or 975,000 on NBC. So with those two ratings, what do we think? Starting with Ben.
I mean, yeah. I mean, overall though, just great for both sports in general. I mean, I just feel like as of right now, it's going to continue to grow.
I mean, that's 3 weeks in a row, though they may not be up from the number race, that race is up, correct? Because Daytona was up from last year's Daytona.
Yeah, Atlanta was
Atlanta
up
was
by
up,
1% on.
correct, and a small amount, but still up. And then Coda's now up, so that's good to see. Because I remember, if you remember, anytime we talked ratings, I emphasized that a lot of times road courses don't do well with American fans, I guess is the way I would describe it.
Yep.
But who knows? Maybe the growth in Indy and especially the growth in F1 is opening the eyes to some NASCAR fans to be more open to road racing, because it wasn't a bad race from the parts that I caught as I took my nap during the second stage, second stage.
Yeah. Yep. I do think there's an interesting divide though in the quality of broadcast that Fox produces for NASCAR and IndyCar. Having sat down and watched both from pretty much start to finish on that Sunday. So some stuff we gotta figure out there. But let's go ahead and fly the flag. We got three very interesting questions regarding what we just talked about. So Josh, I'll let you take it away.
Absolutely. Starting with you, Ben. NASCAR's penalty on Austin Cindric was fair.
Yeah, I'm going green flag on this one because it wasn't like he hooked him into the wall or anything like that, like we saw with Bubba Wallace and Denny Hamlin. So, yeah, I think overall, though, I'm glad that Cindric's not suspended because he didn't, like I said, he did not hook Ty Dillon into the wall. So I think they got it right. I'm perfectly fine with the $50,000 fine.
Colton?
I'd argue it'd be quite the feat to right hook Ty Dillon into the wall at Coda because of how wide that field is. But I see your point, and I agree. Give me the green flag.
Green as well. Won't waste any time. NASCAR should get rid of the charter system. Colton?
For the sake of the teams, red flag. For the sake of the sport, personally, I think green flag because it's really stopping some people from getting into it. Dale Jr. would have a cup team if not for the charter system.
Ben?
I would lean towards green flag on this one, though, because in a way, though, it can be really expensive for some teams.
Guess we're going to agree all around today, because after you explained it to me a little bit better, Colton, anything that would get Junior into the Cup Series would be a whole lot better. Just saying.
It's the only
Last but not
explanation you
least,
need, huh?
Coda should be a long stay on the NASCAR schedule. I said yeah. I'll start and I'll say yellow. I believe we might have talked about this
Yeah,
last week.
I kind of did a repeat. I wanted to hear Ben's take on it.
Yeah, or Monday. But my mindset of it all is still kind of the same. I like it as being a special track, doing this one year and then turning around and doing, like I said, Mexico City or somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like it would
Yeah.
be a special track that doesn't need to be on the series every year. But your point of Texas was promised 2 races a year. Do we need 2 Texases? That's the question that would need to be answered. Ben?
No. But what's up, Ben?
I mean, I would probably lean towards the green flag on this one. I mean, after seeing that race on Sunday, though, especially the finish, though, with Christopher Bell, William Byron, Tyler Reddick, Kyle Busch, though, I thought that's an example of clean, hard racing, though, and I hope we see that at Coda in years to come. So I would lean towards the green flag.
Yeah, I'm going with the green flag as well. I see Josh's point, and I'm fine with that. But I think this race really started out with a really bad rap as the drivers struggled. There was a rain race for the first one, and then it was just kind of like the drivers didn't know the track. Now they're familiar with the track, and I think that's breeded some really great racing at Coda, as we saw at the end of that race there. And I think it deserves to be a mainstay. So that is our fly the flag, and now it's time to do some power rankings. I think I got mine written up here. Nope, that's last week. All right. Well, I think I can do it from memory. Mine were that of I got it there. Tyler Reddick in fifth. Wait a minute. Go ahead, Josh.
All right. So I had Kyle Larson fifth, but then I got yelled at and bullied into putting
You sure
Michael
did.
McDowell in the fifth.
As
Only
you
explanation,
should've.
he's in fifth place in the Winston Cup point standings if it was still a thing.
Hey, you can
So he's
sneak.
going to be fifth in mine. Number 4, I will go with, I want to say it was Tyler Reddick. 3 was Ryan Blaney. 2 was William Byron. And number 1, obvious back-to-back winner, Christopher Bell.
All right. All right. So my power rankings this week, gentlemen, I got Chase Elliott at number 5. Obviously, our Clash winner has shown great speed as of late. I feel like he bounced back really well at Coda after that lap 1 spin from Ross Chastain. And who knows, if that spin didn't happen, he would have been in victory lane.
Don't say that around Colton, Ben.
Oh, I'm sorry, Colton. All right, continuing. Number 4, I got Ryan Blaney. I mean, even though it was a tough weekend for him at Coda, finishing 19th, though, he's still second in points, and he's got great tracks coming up. So I'm not going to let that Coda race slow him down. So I feel like he's going to continue the momentum. Tyler Reddick at number 3, he obviously won the pole, was a factor to get his first win in the year. So great signs. Great signs for him as we move forward into the season. Number 2, I got William Byron, obviously our Daytona 500 winner. In these first 3 races, he's shown consistent speed, and I feel like he's going to be a factor in the next few weeks. And number 1, it's no debate here, Christopher Bell, 2 wins on the year, great speed, championship threat, and our points leader. So, yes, that is my top 5 this week.
Yeah, it finally came to memory. Byron, Chase was 5th, Reddick, Blaney, Byron, and Bell. That was my power ranking. So we all kind of had the same people, maybe just in different positions. Other than, you had McDowell, I think, Josh. So, yeah, that is our power rankings. Let's move along to the Fast 5 picks. We're doing it in front of the preview because of an incident that happened last week. And if you want to see me throw a temper tantrum, by all means, go back to there. And maybe for the betterment of it, we should have kept it that way. But no, I want to at least have a chance at this thing. So we're doing the Fast 5 picks. The order this week, I had, once again, the least amount of points, so I get the first pick. Josh gets to second choice, and I think you said you would take the second pick.
I'm going to make Ben go to back-to-back. It hasn't been good for any of us, so he needs to get knocked down a little bit.
And so Ben will get the third pick, back-to-back pick. With the first overall pick in this draft, I want to go ahead and just take Ryan Blaney, dude. 2.8 average finish in the next gen era at Phoenix. Does not have a win. I don't care. I will lose sleep if I don't make this pick. So I'm just going to go ahead and make the obvious pick. Can't wait for him to finish.
To be honest, Colton, I knew you were going to pick Ryan Blaney.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like anybody in this position. Like, even if you don't know NASCAR, you just look at the numbers. You go with Ryan Blaney here. So I had slipped on Shane, and it kind of worked out for me, but it didn't really in the end. But no, give me Blaney here.
All right, good pick.
What's wild is that man, like you said, it has a 2.8 average finish, and none of them are wins.
Nuts.
Like his low finish since 2022 at that track is 5th place. Absolute dominating performance. Just can't find victory lane. For me, I'm going back and forth between 2 guys. However, I'm just going to have to do it because it is Phoenix. I'm going to take the other Penske driver and take Joey Logano.
All right. Good pick there, Josh. I mean, obviously, Phoenix is a great track for Team Penske, though. So those guys, they're going to be factors this weekend. My first pick this week, I'm going with Christopher Bell. The guy's won our last 2 races, though, and Phoenix has been a really good track for him, though. He dominated the spring race last year, led over 100 laps, went on to win the race, so he definitely knows how to get around that track. And I do not see that 20 car slowing down, so give me Christopher Bell.
And then you're up again, Ben.
Not bad. You got back-to-back.
Sorry about that. Let's see. Looking down this list right here, I'm going with – give me William Byron. He's another driver that's been off to a hot start, showing consistent speed. Phoenix, another great racetrack for him coming up. So, I look for the 24 to make some noise this weekend.
Josh?
I'm going to take a guy who I can't stand, but it's just the fact that he has not won a race at an intermediate 1 mile is insane to me. The talent is too good. So give me Kyle Larson.
Okay.
Not bad, not bad. Yeah, I could have seen that Ben picking William Byron from a mile away. So
I think
just
you
like
actually
Brent.
you
Did I
called it
call
as
that?
literally,
Okay.
yeah, you called that.
Yeah.
Okay. I am curious though, Ben, if never mind, because Josh didn't. Yeah. My other, I guess you were going to pick Larson with the other pick, but I didn't think Bell was going to fall to you. I thought Josh was going to get Bell. I like to predict it, even though it never ends up the way I think it is.
I didn't even think I was going to get Bell. I thought you guys were going to take him before I did.
I was hoping somehow, because his average finish isn't high, he would slip through the cracks, but obviously that did not happen. Anyways, it's my pick now, and I am going to go ahead. If last week didn't happen, I would probably pick Ross Chastain. However, Chase Elliott could end his day, so I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. What I will touch is who I will pick is Chase Briscoe. He has a 12.3 average finish here. He got his win here in Stewart Haas Racing Equipment past their prime.
Yep.
And yeah, give me Chase Briscoe driving the 19. I'm sticking with Toyota, and I'm going with Denny Hamlin as my next pick because Toyota is fast here. Hamlin led a lot of laps here in the spring race. I like Toyota here. And I like the 19 and the 11. Please, anybody else take the mic?
Can you see the smoke coming out of my ears right now, Colton? You finally got me. Chase Briscoe was my pick next.
Oh,
so
yes, glorious day, yes.
Oh man, this is tough.
You're paranoid. And you're all spiraling.
Yeah, literally, that was my pick. I guess I'm just going to go off talent alone, and having a great year, has 4 top 10 finishes here. So give me Tyler Reddick.
All right. I'm up next. Looking down this list right here. I'm actually going with the 8 of Kyle Busch. Obviously, he's off to a solid start in this 2025 season, I think. And just watching him at COTA last week, though, he arguably had the strongest car. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for him at the end, though. And I feel like with that momentum, though, I feel like that A team is going to bring that to Phoenix. So Kyle Busch, I don't see him slowing down, though. I think he's eventually going to get to victory lane.
I was seeing on Twitter, I forget who posted it, so I feel bad I can't give them credit. But they talked about if Kyle Busch brings speed to the next 2 tracks, NASCAR needs to watch out because he will be a serious contender.
Mm-hmm.
These 2 tracks will be big for RCR coming up.
Well,
with my next pick,
pick too.
Yeah.
Josh.
Yeah, do you not hear me?
Ben's got another pick.
Oh yeah,
I got another pick.
I'll shut up.
I said that like 3 times.
I'm used to being the third guy.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Wait.
Let's see here. I'm going with give me Ross Chastain.
All right. Ross Chastain. That'd be a shame if certain guy from Dawsonville, Georgia, were to run into him.
Oh yeah,
Josh.
I hope
what
that
do you
doesn't
got?
happen this weekend.
I'm not allowed to pick.
Yes.
Now
It's your turn. So yes, you are now allowed to pick.
Okay, just make sure. I'm gonna take a chance on a guy who needs to try to get right. Hasn't had great performances to start the year, so give me Brad Kay.
Okay.
All right. I'm loving how this is falling. Chris Buescher, welcome to the squad. I
knew that was coming.
10th average finish? Are y'all kidding me? I like the team I have this week. I can't wait for them to all get taken out in the first corner when Ross Chastain decides to do
straight watermelon
again, and then I go straight to the fridge and grab some beers. Yeah. Chris Buescher, immediately, I'm going to be honest, I was so hyper-focused on Chris Buescher, I got to think about my next pick here a moment. Daniel Suarez is the guy who's pretty good at this track. I'm not sure I'm going to bet on him this week. Bubba's got some decent finishes, but I'm kind of getting to the nitty gritty here. Um, do I take Chase? Does he end up damaging his car when he puts Ross in the wall? Give me Noah Gragson. He
Oh,
found
all right.
something last year that's an interest that I think he has a chance of sneaking out of top 10. He has this way of the restarts that I think it gives him an advantage. And maybe that was just a one race thing. He didn't really show it in the championship race, but it was the championship race. Lame duck season with SHR. So give me Noah Gragson. He's sitting down there in the average finish, but he had a really good race here in last spring. And I think he might repeat that. I'd taken a chance.
Yeah, I like that a lot for sure. I
See,
mean, he's coming off a great run at Coda, so it wouldn't surprise me one bit.
I got excited. You took Brad, right, Josh?
Yeah, me. Yeah, I took Brad. So for me, there was a guy I was looking at, and for the brand, I debated Austin Cindric, but I think I'm going to make him prove it to me again. However, what I'm kind of hinting at is the dude who drives for Penske without driving for Penske and throwing a little curveball, kind of like you did, Colton. Go ahead and give me Josh Berry.
All right.
If you ask me, you got two curveballs with Brad K and Josh Berry on the team.
Brad's got to straighten it out, though, right? Like,
Yeah.
he can't. There's no way Brad and RFK can be this bad.
Yeah.
They're not this bad, but we'll see.
All right.
Ben, your final pick, yeah.
All right. All right. This is probably going to be a long shot here, though. I mean, this is a driver that's obviously had a rough start to this 2025 season. I'm going with Ty Gibbs because
that's a good pick. That's going to be a game changing pick with the last one. That I kind of realized after that I kind of forgot about him because he did not finish well, but he's fast. So that's great.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just like Brad Keselowski, like you mentioned, Josh, eventually they got to turn it around, though. And it's the same for Ty Gibbs, though. I mean, like I said, he's off to a rough start in this 2025 season, though. And, I mean, eventually they got to turn it around. And I just have this gut feeling, though, that eventually they're going to turn it around. So give me the 54 of Ty Gibbs.
Yep. Josh, if there's any bets on a top 5 for Ty Gibbs, go ahead and book it right now. I guarantee you it'll happen.
See, now if it doesn't happen, people are allowed to sue you. So you got to put that disclaimer at the bottom.
I said I guarantee. I mean, I'm not an official like Fox Sports person. So,
I know. I'm giving you crap.
If you heard me talk about law, I think you should know that I have no business telling you what to do with your money. So, anyways, we kind of got through we talked a lot about drivers and why we think they should be picked. But actually, first we had to do our race winner. I forgot about that part. So
correct.
My race winner is not going to be Ryan Blaney. I'm going with C. Bell to get the three-peat. Why not? Why not, man? Until I'm proven wrong, let's see C. Bell get the three-peat and solidify himself as he's already solidified himself as a clear front runner in the Cup Series.
Yeah, I definitely love that pick, Colton. But I'm actually going with Ryan Blaney. I mean, like you guys mentioned earlier, like we talked about earlier, his average finish at Phoenix is 2.8. And I just have this feeling, though, he's going to get his first win in the desert. So give me Ryan Blaney. That 12 car is going to be fast this weekend.
I almost want to take Ryan Blaney just to make sure I can keep up with Ben in case he does get it correctly. However, I'm going to go with the guy that I had originally circled. I think Kyle Larson gets it done this weekend and finds his way into victory lane. Too much talent in that car. Very solid at all intermediate 1 mile tracks. Just hasn't been able to find victory lane. No Blaney, but Larson gets it done this weekend.
All right. Yeah, I definitely feel like there is a chance that he bounces back after a rough weekend in Coda for sure.
Yep. All right. This is the best I've thought about a team since Coda. Just kidding. Anyways, so going to our race preview here. What are some names? Obviously, you took some picks. Josh has got Larson getting the win. Ben's got Blaney getting the win. I've got Bell getting the win. What are some other contenders you see in this race, Ben?
For me, I'm looking at I'm looking at William Byron. I mean, I know I mentioned it earlier that he's off to a great start in this 2025 season. He's shown championship speed, really consistent running up front. And, Phoenix has been a good track for him, though. He runs in the top five, has some good qualifying runs, and I feel like that's going to be beneficial. So, yeah, that's another driver that I got my eye on this weekend is William Byron.
It might be crazy, but with Penske being so good here, I know Colton, you are a not believer in Cindric, but would it surprise you if Cindric's able to pull something off, try to battle back from that 50 points he just lost?
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't certainly wouldn't bet on it. No. Um, I mean, I think it says a lot that you didn't pick him on your team if you do see a chance of that happening. So,
Mhm.
I mean, a guy I want to mention that I would have drafted on my team if there wasn't controversy around him. I just can't afford to um, have Chase Elliott wreck out of the race trying to get Ross Chastain out. So, fun fact, guys, unless it's a road course, I'm probably gonna leave him on the board. Um, yeah, I think Chase Elliott is. I really like the vibes. I just waiting for the Ross Chastain incident to clear out, and then I'm back to trying to pick him up. So um, if he stays clean and it all works out, then I think he definitely will be a factor as well. Looking at the odds, it's Seabella in the front for obvious reasons. Blaney, Larson, Byron, Elliott, Hamlin, Logano, Chase Briscoe, Tyler Reddick, and Ross Chastain rounding out what I think is a top 10. I can't count, so maybe not. Ty Gibbs is up there though. Chris Buescher, Kyle Busch, and guess what, Josh? Josh Berry plus 3,300. So and Brad Keselowski right there next to him. So you might want to take a look at some of these some odds here
Um,
and try to make the Nashville trip back in one weekend, maybe.
hey. So one other thing I want to mention is we've kind of been talking about the hot start for McDowell, Hocevar, and not so much Haley, but just that team. Do you think they can carry it over to a track like Phoenix?
I think they can. I think it's more of a matter of you got to see it to believe it first. Like they've showed speed at random tracks before, and I mean Hocevar finished around the 20th in points, I believe. So he you have the talent. McDowell, Haley, and Hocevar are all three very talented drivers. So it just comes down to what they bring to it, and I would lean to yes. I think we'll see one in the top 15 at least. I think they're on an upward trajectory. And I think these are more the tracks that fit Haley's wheelhouse. Of course, super speedways, but also the intermediates to short tracks. I think Haley, I remember he was driving for Rick Ware at one point and
Yep.
damn near won the Bowman Gray Stadium, or not, that's what it was this year, but the Clash, purely off of talent. So short tracks kind of fit what Haley's looking for. McDowell's had some good runs there. And guess what, guys? There's a very wide straightaway as you come to the start finish line that makes for some crazy restarts. I'm sure Hocevar will have a thing or two to do as he's driving on the very, very inside lane that I can see him doing.
Yep.
But uh, anything else you guys want to add? Some people that I feel like aren't getting talked about that probably for a reason, I would say, is probably Alex Bowman. Actually, when he first joined the Cup Series, he damn near won a race when he was subbing for Dale Jr. When he was subbing, he almost won a race. I think it came down to strategy. Greg Ives doesn't do that very well. Ryan Preece could honestly be an eye. We just really don't know what's going on with Ryan Preece. So I'll be very curious to see what happens. Short tracks are definitely his thing. This is a little bigger than what short tracks he's used to, but he had a decent finish here a couple years ago. And Daniel Suarez is very low on the odds, but this is actually one of his better tracks. Seems like the closer he gets to home, the better he gets. It's funny how that works because he was good at Auto Club as well. But yeah, that's my spiel. Is there anything else you guys want to get out there before we wrap up the show?
I mean, a couple drivers that I wanted to point out.
Yeah.
Carson Hocevar, though, I like to see him be a factor this weekend in Phoenix. I mean, he runs in the top 15. It's just going to depend on what kind of car he has, what strategy, restarts, of course, and also Ryan Preece. Though I feel like like there is potential there, obviously, for him to have a good season. And yeah, we'll see what happens though, because I can definitely see him having a good run this weekend in Phoenix.
And then I wanted to throw one thing out there. So Ben, I know you were busy with work and everything else now. Did you happen to get to watch Bull's hot take from Monday?
No, I did not actually.
So Bull's hot take was SVG will not win another NASCAR race
Oh,
for the next 2 years and then will
oh,
be fired. I just
um,
had to throw it to you, Mr. He's going to win 3 this year.
yeah.
What's your thoughts on that hot take?
I mean, I disagree with that. I mean, I don't agree with that. I'm sorry, Bull, but I don't see that happening though. This guy is so talented on road courses. He's proved that since he got into the series in 2023, and I don't see that guy going anywhere. He's going to be a stud on road courses. I do not see that happening one bit.
He did have a good defense though, because a lot of these drivers are starting to take road courses seriously, and we're starting to get ringers such as Tyler Reddick. I want to say he may have said Christopher Bell.
Probably Reddick, Bell, Byron. Yeah, well, the
Yeah,
top
and then he
three of the
obviously,
last race.
I know I mentioned Chase Elliott
Chase
with his history.
Elliott,
So the fact that
Larson, even.
other drivers are getting better at the road courses, does a ringer really have as much benefit that these everyday drivers have?
It's an interesting conversation for sure. I see both sides. I do think, if you ask me, I think Shane gets a win at some point in these next 2 years, but I don't think it's going to be 3. I don't think he gets 3 in the next 2 years. I'll just say that. I do think the gap isn't as wide as one would think, and if you look at the one win he got, it was at a street course, first time any other driver in the Cup Series had done that. It was in a rain, which is still something that not a lot of experience from people in the Cup Series. And it was a very circumstantial race with a new car, the first year of the new car, if I'm not mistaken, right? First year of the next gen.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there is a point to be made that he's raced at road courses and trackhouse equipment since then and hasn't won. He's been up in the front. He led a lot of laps at Coda, but at the end of the day, he didn't have the stuff. Whether that was his car or him, I'm not sure. He definitely could not get a restart to save his life, but I remember that being an issue at another road course. So I don't know. It's an interesting thing to follow, and there's really weird vibes around Trackhouse right now that kind of lead me to believe that could be the case. Pitbull leaving, Daniel Suarez losing talent, Ross Chastain and his whole shebang. Something's going on over there at Trackhouse, and I'm curious to see what happens when it all airs out. But any further comments, Ben or Josh? Always want to make sure you get it all out.
Yep, that's all I had. I just had to hear Ben's take on it. Is all.
Yeah,
I
very great point.
Yeah, I just don't agree with that. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. I wanted to let you know that next week, Monday, will be a normal episode. However, the episode on Friday will just be us giving our Fast 5 picks. We're going on a trip to Nashville for the SEC tournament, so we'll get you those Fast 5 picks, of course, because we gotta have those out. But we won't have any other commentary, so I'm sure it'll be the craziest week in NASCAR.
Something's going to happen in that court case or something.
Yeah,
we're just going to be like, guys, you got to give us an extra 5 minutes. We got to talk about this.
yeah, it's exactly what's going to happen. But hey, that's just the part of the game. But excited to get down to Nashville and experience that. But excited to get back here on Monday and see what the Fast Five's looking at. I'm happy about my team. I'm happy about it.
Me too.
I think this is going to be the best time because it's the time that we don't necessarily know what the whole landscape's looking like. We have an idea of 3 really great drivers and some other people in the mix, but we don't know for sure. So we'll see how it all plays out. But be sure to follow us on Twitter at LFC__99. That's me. At JNorth1989. As you can tell, I have it up here on the screen, so I actually remember it. Not giving you 4 extra years. At Ben Miller PXP. That is Ben's Twitter, if you couldn't tell by the fact that it says Ben. But thank you all for coming on the show. It is a pleasure as always. Thank you, Josh, for not taking all of my drivers that I wanted. And we'll see you all in the next one. Peace.